yes, he may misguess. It's true that he knows that hearts are 6-4. Do you agree with that, Bill? 3 hearts, 5 hearts must be 6-4. Now, the West did 5 hearts.
Yes, very likely, rather than 7-3. It's pretty common, not vulnerable, to open 3-level preamps with a 6-card suit. So, yep, 6-4. So how does that change the odds? Very slightly. I think the odds slightly favour taking the finesse, missing 4 to the Queen.
And you mean the finesse through West?
Yeah, finesse through the player that's shorter in hearts. I think if there was only one disparity between the number of cards shown in hearts, then it would be a complete toss-up. But with 2 disparity, it favours the finesse. But so much for percentages. But I'm inclined to think that Rodwell will follow them and go down.
In the other room we have the 2 Davids, Bakshi and Gold north-south, against Levin Weinstein. So the strongest lineups possible for the 2 teams. Not a shock. In the other room, North opened 2 spades to show spades and the minor. So East didn't get in. So just 2 spades, 4 spades. And there you didn't have a problem with the Queen of Hearts, but because even if you misguessed, you would take 10 tricks.
It was a smart move of Forrester just to quietly continue hearts, although nothing was very attractive. He didn't want to suggest a shortage in any of the other suits.
Sniffing it out, Bill. That's what they do most of the time. And I'm very impressed. How do they sniff it out?
Yes, excellent sense of smell there by Eric Rodwell. It'd be interesting to see him to get his explanation, which unfortunately we can't, why he played it that way.
So, just a dull flat board. Right.
The spectator suggests that Eric just went with 8 ever, 9 never. No, I don't think so.
Well, you know, from the beginning, a priori, yes, it's slightly better to go for the drop, 52 to 48. But odds have changed slightly if we think hearts are 6-4.
Bit of deja vu here. preempt raised.
Yeah. Good morning to Peter Crouch from England.
Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Roland. I was really pleased to see the England team had a good last match against the French yesterday. It's put us into 8th place, the qualifying place, but obviously this is a very tough match. This will hopefully be a really high quality match we're watching now.
So Rodwell knows that Mextroff has got something, because it's gone pass on his left and a preempt on his right. And indeed, Mextroff does have something, but it's a very, very modest something.
Yes, I agree with you, Bill, in the sense that 3 diamonds is a preempt. But don't you also agree that 3 diamonds in third is wide-ranging?
Sure. And try to quantify the something that South has marked for, but I think 6 points is probably about as little as he's likely to have. Well, this looks to be makeable.
I suspect he's going to go 2 rounds of diamonds and Robson will put it to him with a low club.
Yeah. He's looking at the King of Hearts, so obviously the only chance is, unless they have a natural top trick, of course, the only chance is that they can get 2 clubs. So he'll think about it for a while, and then the 4 of clubs will appear. Any bets?
Well, Mextroff will know that Robson has to have the King of Hearts to give his contract a chance, so he'll know Robson's got the King of Diamonds, probably the Jack of Diamonds on the 10 of Diamonds return, and influentially the King of Hearts. But he'll also know that Robson will open preempts on all sorts of hands in third seat, especially at favourable vulnerability.
So you didn't answer the question, Peter, and rightly so.
Ha!
Yeah, very well done.
First
I mean, I think Mextroff had a really tough guess there, don't you? I mean, he knew Robson was going to play a club even from the Queen there, so who knows? I suspect you'd have got it right, Roland, or you, Bill, at the table, but I'm not sure I would have.
No. But I'm going to award brownie points, 3 of them, to Bill. He was the one who said it first. Then I said the 4 of clubs. So maybe I deserve 1 point also. And Peter, you'll have to wait until you say something very, very intelligent. That won't be long.
So that'll be sometime next week, Roland, I guess.
Mextroff will say to Rodwell after this deal, maybe you better play him, mate, from here on in. Rodwell made the great guess on board 1, Mextroff the reasonable misguess on board 2.
So at least Mextroff and Rodwell are going to not have to face a Robson or Forrester preempt on this board. Maybe, I don't imagine Mextroff is going to bid anything on his hand, but maybe he'll open 3 diamonds.
It is pointed out by a spectator. Let's see if you agree with this. Now, clubback is a Greek gift because he can discard a maximum of 3 clubs on the hearts. Does that make sense?
Well, it does, but I don't quite know what the point of the comment was, because West doesn't know what the layout is. For all he knows, South has got 5 spades or even 6 spades. or 5 spades anyway. In which case he may well need to grab the 2 club tricks.
Couldn't South have 5 spades, 3 hearts, 2 diamonds and 3 clubs? In which case he's now got 2 pitches for 2 clubs.
Yep. If he only has 4 spades, then the point is valid. If you know he has exactly 4.
Wilson may be worried that this might go all pass, because North could have quite a strong hand to pass over his 15-17 no trump, given they play mech well.
Yeah, probably just card sharing, double here.
I would have thought double would be to play opposite the majors, because I think South has got 1 minor or both majors. Is that correct?
One, yes, one minor or both majors. That's right.
So Forrester might well just give this a boost to 3 spades. He knows Robson's obviously got 5 spades.
So board 2 created a swing. 12 imps for England.
The defence went exactly the same way, but David Gold put the king of clubs up, rather than playing low.
Yes, he did.
So I think Robson has a lock here. I think he can basically draw 3 rounds of trumps and eventually just give up the minor suit tricks, and eventually someone will have to open up hearts for him.
Yes, it's a textbook example of elimination and end play, isn't it?
Couldn't he just take a heart finesse against somebody and try to make an over trick? If it loses, he'll, I think, have a discard for the club. Maybe there are some entry problems.
Isn't there an entry problem to the 4th heart then, Bill, since he must draw 3 rounds of trumps?
He just could enter with the 4th spade, Roland, so I think he's probably okay.
Yeah, but if he does it early, he's okay. You're right, Bill. While he still has an entry, I agree.
So good play for the over trick, but no dice.
One imp to USA. They played the hand in 1 no trump in the other room, making with 3 over tricks. 5 spades, 3 hearts, a club. So the Clara must have taken 4 heart tricks.
I suspect they led a heart, Roland.
Yeah. I haven't looked, but yes, I agree. 14-16, 1 no trump here.
I think 3-no trumps is going to be made quite easily here. There's no communication between the east-west hands in the diamond suit.
Aha. I thought Mac would just have bid 3. Is there a reason he bid 2? No?
I think he's concerned that partner may have 5 hearts, Roland.
Yeah. North could have 5 hearts.
I'm guessing 10 tricks.
I'm impressed that we have almost 1,500 spectators at this table. It's in the middle of the night in USA. It's very early in the morning in Europe. Only good for Australia, though. And we don't have that many Australians.
And they may be watching the Australian match. Who knows?
See Forrester unblocked the jack of clubs there on the first round in case of this position with Robson holding a second diamond.
Good point. It's true, on the west coast in USA, it's not quite midnight yet. Start time there is 10:30 p.m. So that's right. But it's bad for the East Coast. It will be bad for both in the middle match. Same contract in the other room. South also inquired there. 2 clubs. 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2-no trumps, which must have been forcing. Do you know what that means, Peter? That auction, 2 clubs followed by 2-no trumps over 2 diamonds.
No, I don't. I don't know Batchy Gold system that well. I mean, I know just the basics of it. I know the Forrester Robson system quite a lot more better.
But it went to no trumps. North bid 3 clubs and 3 no trumps. So perhaps the same auction basically as in this room, more or less, could be.
Yeah, I know Forrester and Gold played 2 clubs as a puppet to 2 diamonds as well. So maybe this was their 5 card stamen scenario, where 2M was forcing an inquiry. That's the way Robson and Forrester would play. 2 clubs would be a puppet to 2 diamonds, and 2M would then inquire about the majors, over which they play 3 clubs is I've got a major, and 3 of a major would be 5. So it's probably the same methods.
Yes, almost, because 3 clubs did deny a 5 card major here, but it didn't deny a 4 card major. Rothwell claims if a squeeze 11 or only 10. It is flat board. Only this table went down. So the operator might have clicked on the wrong button when he wanted to click on redeal, and that can be dangerous.
So here, 2 clubs, I don't know if you said, I've just joined, with 2 clubs was either natural game forcing, balanced game forcing, or a 3 card limit raise.
And what is it now?
Well, I suspect it could be either balanced game forcing or clubs game forcing still. I imagine with the 3 card limit raise, I mean the interesting point is what would he do if he had a 3 card limit raise with 4 hearts? I suspect his bid would be 4 hearts over 2 hearts.
Okay.
This is a sort of fairly new thing for Robson and Forrester. They weren't playing it last year.
Now we can see they have a slam, but not so easy to bid.
Well, it might be a bit of a struggle on the spade lead. Not that I'm necessarily Maxwell would leave one with the 8 king of clubs.
Exactly.
I got into a discussion yesterday, I think, on the question, what do you lead when you've got a side singles and a side ace-king? And somebody said, what does David Bird's book say? And I looked up David Bird's book, and it didn't say. You guys got any view on that?
Yes, because David Bird came on later, when you left, Bill, and I asked him the same question. He said, well, with ace-king on the side in another suit, it's recommended to lead the 8 at top, or perhaps just 50-50. But With a singleton and king, queen, jack, or king, queen, or worse in the side suit, you should lead the singleton. But that was your conclusion as well, right? Because you looked it up.
Yes, the king, queen, jack and a singleton was in the book, an example hand and a simulation, but not the ace king.
So here one club could be a doubleton and one heart shows spades. Forrester will bid one spade to show 3 card support. You can see Al Hollander's giving a more detailed description, which is what he normally does. He's a fountain of knowledge, Al.
Right. Now, personally, Peter, what do you prefer? Do you prefer to let one spade show exactly 3, or 2 or 3, so that you free up one note trump to show 18, 19?
Well, personally, I like one spade to show just like a weak no trump type hand with 2 or 3 spades. Occasionally 3 spades in the minimum with clubs. But I'd say that's more popular now. Certainly when people first started playing transfers, completing the transfer of 3 was more popular. But I think people have decided now that they generally prefer to complete the transfer of a weak no trump. I don't know if that's the same in Australia, Bill.
I'm not sure that the transfer responses to one club have got as far as Australia yet. They might be at Papua New Guinea at this point. I play them, but that's because it's part of a different system.
All right.
Okay, so as you can see, Al's telling us what's going on here. For Robson Forrester, they play 2 clubs as an artificial game force over a spade. So 2 diamonds is the invitational hand with 5 spades, and I think 2 hearts would be invitational with hearts and spades.
This should go down. I mean, declare a must lose 2 hearts, a diamond and a club. So he needs a miracle layout in clubs for it to make. Say Norse had a stiff king, then he could make it. Norse has king X, and he covers, then he can make it. Not to be.
But if North had king X, North could also duck it, and they may well decide to play South for 10x.
Indeed. And rest assured that Rothwell will not cover the queen of clubs. Another textbook example here, that you should not cover. You can see Queen Jack in the dummy. You should not cover the first, unless you have the 10 also, of course. So if a player like Rothwell covers the queen, it's either, because it's singleton, of course, or king 10 doubleton, or king 10 third, in which case you can't do anything. But it's a instructive hand for intermediate players. We have many intermediate players in the audience. You see how you give the contract if you cover the Queen of Clubs.
Yes, Forrester's arranging to try for some good luck in hearts here. King 10 third with Rodwell would be enough to develop 2 discards for the clubs, but it's not to be.
And while we're waiting, let me say something about my sound quality. There's nothing more I can do from my end, because I've tried everything, and not only I, but a couple of IT experts also. I did what I could. Now, if you have a problem, you can always try a headset, whether you're on a PC, laptop or iPad. That will do the trick. Furthermore, if you are on a PC or laptop, you can enhance your loudness equalization. If you don't know how to do that, send me a private message and I'll give you a link to instructions.
See there, Forrester played the 9 of hearts, hoping that Rodwell had King 10x of hearts, in which case he could pitch 2 clubs on the Queen and 8 of hearts.
Yeah, and one final thing is you also have the sliders along on
I guess he'll play a low club now. Or when he's back in dummy. Well, it's a guess, isn't it? There's very little to go on.
Yeah, playing for 10x in south or King X in north. Yeah.
Well, by the time he got there, he knew neither was going to work, because there were only clubs outstanding. So that was that, and 6 imps to the Americans.
So a strong spade race we're getting now. Let's see if that's two-note trumps for them. It is for many. Two-note trumps as the strong. Because I think you could persuade him to open one-note trump with that hand. Come on.
What's the range of their one-note trump opening?
15-17, Bill, but I wouldn't actually, Roland. I would quite happily open a no trump if partner was a passed hand, but I wouldn't open a no trump in front of a non-passed partner.
Isn't the hand too strong, essentially, with the fantastic 6-card diamond suit? That's what I find when people open one-no trump with long 6-card suits is, and the same with 2-no trump openings, is that even when they're in minimum in points, they always seem to underbid the result because of the long strong suit is so powerful, whether it be in no trumps or in the suit contract.
Yeah, well, I agree with you that obviously a semi-solid 6-card suit makes the hand great, but then you have to subtract some for Queen X, I suppose. So if you put it into K&R, well, Al just did, see, evaluating the West hand as 1705.
I knew I was right. It's a 20th of a point too strong for a 15 to 17 one-no trump.
Great stuff. Yeah, you should have that tool at the table. We'll look at it. Just a second, guys. Just want to check how good my hand is.
So I have to go and do some domestic duties. I'll be back in half an hour for the end of the match.
Okay, Peter. See you later. Thank you.
The diamonds are friendly. Does that mean he's going to get home here?
Isn't it just one down with a heart now? Or did I miss something? How do you make it, Bill?
I don't think it's going to make here, is it? Because he's going to discard a loser, but North's going to trump. So he's really got 2 spade losers here at least. I mean, he could go 2 down, couldn't he?
He could. He can't make it. USA gained some bits and pieces on 6 and 7. Well, 6 imps on 7, on 6 actually, when they stopped very low in one-no trump. And then a couple of overtrick imps on 7.
He'll be okay now. He's going to finesse this.
one down. Then 3-note trumps in the other room, played by West, and the lead is the 2 of hearts.
Well, that will be an interesting contract with the friendly diamonds. I think I'd probably bet on Declarer. Now if they play a 15 to 17 one-note trump, we've lost Peter here, maybe they don't play it. Well, isn't that 15 to 17 with these? Ah, okay, he's changed it.
It is. I have the card, by the way. So we should be okay. Just as well that David Bird didn't get up for this. I did send an email yesterday and said maybe he wanted to change his schedule. He normally does the second and third, but maybe he wanted to get up early for this one. Didn't get anything back, but I had an email problem yesterday, so I'm not quite sure that he got it.
Well, what now from South? Jack of Diamonds works well, and that's certainly a plausible option. We'll get overtaken, I think, with the Queen.
That would be good play. Forrester can't make it, this, of course. But no one expected that with that tummy.
Now this looks like 2 down. South will get end played eventually.
So, there's a slam on here, or not. Oh, sorry. 4-0 heartbreak. Sorry. But, even if hearts had been 2-2 or 3-1, it wouldn't have been a great slam. It would have been a terrible slam, really.
Yes, I imagine they'll limp into 4 hearts. Bit of a nightmare hand for West to lead from.
Yeah. It won't be a club, I can promise you, Bill. And you know why?
He's read the book, has he?
No. Well, you might have. Not that. I thought you knew that Forrester forbids his partners to lead away from a king in high suit contracts. Didn't you know that? And I'm not kidding.
I had a hand many years ago where with a husband-wife couple, and the husband had the same rule for his wife. She wasn't allowed to lead away from a king. And she duly led away from a king against 4 spades, and it cost the trick and the contract. And he absolutely exploded at her until she showed him her hand, which was void, king fourth, king fourth, king fifth.
Cute. Yeah. Now, how did they? Or how did it get that far? I mean, he has very strong feelings, Forrester, because he once did it himself, you know. Many years ago, I believe it was against a slam, and that was the only lead to give the contract. And since then, he hasn't done it. And at the same time, when he says recommends that his partners don't do it. But recommend in in Forrester terminology is don't do it.
Well, talking about the 70s, I was chatting to David Bird about this. Leading from a king against a slam was pretty much regarded as a good idea. The idea was that maybe your partner has the ace, or maybe your partner has the queen, and you've got an outside entry and you build a trick. But times have changed, and it's definitely no longer regarded as a good lead in principle. People are going much more for the passive leads, the leads from nothing.
So a good stop here. By the way, 3-0 went 2 down, Bill, on board 8.
Okay, disappointing.
I don't think you can make it legitimately, actually, but you can try to analyze it later. Let's focus us on this board. Well, maybe there's not a lot to focus on. I mean, King of Clubs is on, Ace of Spades is on. That looks like 11 tricks, doesn't it? Yeah, on that board, the 3-0 trump hand, Bill, he went after clubs instead of diamonds. But I still think that it's unmakeable, even if you go after diamonds. But let me analyze it in detail later. But you can do it yourself if you want to. Now here we have the serious slam try. Do you see that Rothwell reversed his own convention, Bill?
Yes, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
3 no trumps is now the mild or non-serious slam try, correct?
Exactly. Now he was convinced because several other experts suggested that it's better to reverse it, and he agreed. So he adopted it.
Now, Roland, do you think there's been an operator error here, or what?
Absolutely. Or a Robson error. Forrester probably won't say anything because it didn't matter. But if it had mattered, dear me, then you are happy that you have a screen to separate you from your partner.
Well, it's interesting that Mextroff didn't seem to get the news flash. He could have asked his screen mate. Hang on, who is his screen mate?
Next screen mate is Robson.
That would have been a problem. If he could have asked Forrester, Forrester could have said, partner emphatically denies the club king, and then he wouldn't have taken that futile finesse.
Yeah, you know, maybe Robson was displeased with Forrester going 2 down on the last board, the contract. He wanted to punish him by leading away from a king. Just kidding. But this is a dull hand, so I'm sure you understand why we don't talk a lot about it.
Mextroff has safety played this hand. He's taken essentially a finesse into the safe hand, which is West's.
Well, it's not entirely safe, is it?
Safer.
What if clubs had been 6-1?
Oh, that seems less likely than simply taking a diamond finesse into East and having a spade ram through your gizzard immediately. I don't see that. I'm not quite sure why Kit is saying that he doesn't like this line of play. No, I see. He wants to just rough the spade.
Yes, isn't that safer? Now that the queen held the trick, the queen of clubs, the trick one, is it safer to just take a spade run? I mean, even if the ace of spades is off?
I thought I was on pretty safe ground agreeing with Mextroff's play.
Well, you are most of the time, obviously. Maybe not here. Yes, I like the match so far. Low scoring, yes, but good bridge, I think. Well, you can always find something, like board 10. Well, I agree with Kit, by the way, that he didn't find the best line. But overall, it is a very good bridge. I have to say, going back to board 1, I would definitely have gone down in 5 spades. But you see, it doesn't matter, because I'm not playing, and Rothwell is.
I think that was definitely the right play. I think if hearts are going to be 4-1, it's going to be with East. And the last thing he wanted to do was get 3 or 4 rounds of hearts played with him, or 4 rounds of hearts played at him. So I think he did it right here to play East for the heart length and the heart jack.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as Jaggy points out, there's a bit of a problem with the club suit here. You might have to revise the comment again about the declarer play.
Why? Did
He's going down.
Well, that's irrelevant. Well, you know what I mean. Of course, it's not irrelevant in the sense you don't want to go down. But if you played with the odds, should you have any regrets? I don't think so.
Well, he could have played the King of Hearts out from hand, his idea being that West has probably got the ace with all this bidding, and that way he can control and play exactly 2 rounds of trumps and ruff his losing clubs. So this is an interesting one, a very interesting one.
Are you saying that Mech misplayed a hand again?
I think Mech is saying that Mech misplayed the hand.
Yeah. On 2 consecutive hands. Well, that is rare. Wow.
And it really irritates me because both times I thought, well, okay, after the first one, I figured lightning couldn't strike twice. So I immediately found a fairly asinine comment about how well he was playing it, only to discover that he was going down.
Now opposite 6 cards and 3 to 7. It's with the odds to pass with the West hand. It is unlikely that you have a game on opposite 3 to 7. And even if you have, you're non-vulnerable. I would pass. Don't know about Robson. Don't know about Bill. What would you do, Bill? Opposite 3 to 7. 6 odds.
That is an automatic pass. Anything else is just plain wrong.
Is this a spelling contest, Al? Are you asking us how to spell it?
I think the second one was right.
It is. Surely not with a double B. That's an additional advantage of being on voice, Bill. They can't hear when we misspell a word.
No. But all in all, it's easier to do written commentary than voice commentary. And, but yes, you're right. We never misspell anything. I guess we mispronounce stuff, though. There's swings and roundabouts on that. Well, I just don't see non-vulnerable. They're pushing for game there with a singleton opposite a 6-card suit. I can't see why you would do it. It looks way against the odds.
But, you know, Robson, you say, well, if partner has the ideal values, that could be play for game. But remember, you know it as well as I do, partner never has the ideal values. I suppose you can give East 6 or 7 points, and where you have play for game if he's short in clubs.
Okay, so Forrester's comment there, can I have the info as who was thinking? He doesn't know whether it was, let's say, Mextroth or Rodwell who thought over the 2-heart bid, but of course he's not entitled to that information, so that was just a joke.
Yes, of course it was a joke, but when he sees dummy, he knows very well who it was.
Well, I think this will come home. Well, there's a lot of tricks, but I think it's only 5 of them. A spade, a couple of hearts, a diamond and a club.
Yep. I'm asked if we have planned voice for the other 2 rounds today. We have indeed. Next round, France against USA1, the same USA team. And now France instead of England. And then finally, Brazil against Sweden. Will the knockout matches be on BBO? The answer is yes, indeed. We will broadcast throughout. So quarterfinals Sunday, and then on to the semi-finals and final, and finishing Saturday next week. I know it's not up yet on our schedule page, but I'm reliably informed that we will show everything. Great stuff, isn't it, Bill? Getting it.
Yes, that is good news. I didn't particularly want to have to fiddle with our game. I'm not sure if that's too political a statement, but BBO is a lot easier to use.
I'm asked if Poland is banned from voice. No, certainly not. We had Poland on voice the other day, didn't we? I think Bill was here.
Yeah, I commentated a Polish match.
Yeah, we did one together, didn't we?
Probably, yeah. Poland versus Sweden, perhaps?
Yeah, Poland, Sweden yesterday, didn't we? Yeah, because I remember we discussed if the third pair had been added or not. And they were not playing in the first match yesterday, but they were in the second. So yes, they arrived and they are playing. Poland currently in fourth place, 0.03 of a VP behind USA1. And looks like 8 tricks, as Bill said earlier, long time ago. And here we have Peter Crouch back. You didn't miss a lot.
Hi Roland, hi Bill. Sorry, have I missed anything interesting?
No, perhaps in the other room. Well, you have, in a way. I think Bill is going to say something about Maxtrov and his declarer. Come on, Bill.
Yes, this one's going to fetch up into 4 hearts. I think it was a good idea for Maxtroff to try and show his diamonds, because it's quite possible that his partner will be on opening lead in this deal. So worth trying to give the suit, show the possible lead here.
Yes, I agree with you. They'll get to 4 hearts. And make it. No problem. There would have been one if there had been 4-1. But no club problem here. So you lose a spade, a heart and a diamond.
So I've just looked at the board he went off in. Obviously losing a club trick in that position, not great. I mean, he could have just played on spades, I assume, earlier, or he could have roughed a club at trick 2. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes, well, anything except what he did. At the time I suggested that with West very likely to have the ace of hearts, that he should have played his high heart from hand, so that he ensured that he played exactly 2 rounds of trumps. But your suggestions are probably better.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even look at the bidding. I realised now West had overcalled 2 clubs, so he was very likely to have the ace of hearts as well.
But a club rough at trick 2 is probably pretty sensible.
Yes. And board 10, Bill. Sorry, Peter. Yeah,
Board
the
10 he
contract
could have
made.
played differently. I suppose he could have played... are you suggesting he doesn't play the Queen of Clubs at trick 1? It looks all right.
No.
Queen of Clubs
No.
at trick 1, but you could then just draw trump. We could draw 2 rounds of trumps, could you, and play diamonds, pitching or spade? I don't know. I haven't really looked at it very closely. What are you suggesting he should do?
Spade at trick 2, ensuring a spade drop. So even if the ace of spades is off, you're making?
Yeah, that's a good line.
Yeah,
Spade. That's another possibility, is it?
Unfortunately, the English declarer, who did in fact make an over trick, didn't really play it any better. So perhaps there wasn't that much in that particular play problem.
Got to be interested to see how he plays board 11.
Yeah, that one's meatier, isn't it?
So here, I don't know if you mentioned this, I was looking at the hands, but I mean it's very common now when your partner overcalls a major and the next hand makes a negative double to play transfers from 1 no trump.
But surely they have an agreement regarding 3 spades. Should it be a splinter for hearts, Peter, do you think? And this was his best option under the circumstances, to do it with the hand he had? I mean, I would assume if I didn't know anything, that 3 spades would be a splinter for hearts, the suit partner showed with his double. Do you know any more, Peter? Well, maybe he left, maybe he's on the phone, or maybe he can't hear me. Probably a phone call. Are the Hacketts rested or ill? Rested. Happy to see.
one club, one no trump, or something like that. I'm just guessing here.
No, South Open, one no trump.
One no trump double. Same sort of thing. Great strength shown by West.
No, West passed. Oh, sorry.
Get out.
He doubled one no trump. That's right.
Yeah. So North-South at the other table play a weak no trump when they're non-vulnerable.
Yes, and West doubled that.
What Kaplan used to call chicken no trump.
Still, each did have a jack. It was a good thing that wasn't the jack of hearts.
Yep. Why is Forrester thinking here, I'm asked? Well, he isn't anymore. But he was thinking, because in case clubs had been 4-1, who is more likely to have 4? Because he had a two-way finesse if they were 4-1. Did you hear my question before, by the way, Peter?
No, I didn't, Roland. Sorry, I was on the phone. So I had a phone call. Perhaps you can remind me.
Yeah, 13. Look at the auction on 13, where Forrester doubled, a negative double, showing hearts. Now the jump to 3 spades by Robson, isn't that, in principle, at least, a splinter bit for hearts?
Yeah, but I think it probably was. I think he probably thought it was his best lie. Maybe he thought it might stop them leading a spade as well. Okay, so 4 spades looks the right spot here. What do you think?
Well, it's a very plausible contract, but there's a fair bit of work involved, isn't there? The cards don't sit well at all. The only piece of good news on this is that the ace of clubs is onside, but there's a whole torrent of bad news.
Yep, I agree. Too much maybe to overcome, because he can't really set up the hearts, because they'll remove an entry at trick 2. Now say it goes club to the ace, and, well, trump back, for instance, right? Then you're an entry short with the king of diamonds off. Was this the mistake
Yep,
Robson needed?
It didn't kill the entry.
He didn't kill the entry to the heart suit. Now he can make it by playing on hearts immediately. Wow.
Now whether he will or not is another matter. But it's certainly sensible to play heart ace, heart ruff, spade to the king, heart ruff. That works.
Yep.
I think.
Now it does. Let's go back to trick 1 then. Because we just love to assign the blame, of course. Was it an error? A real error? Not to go up in the ace of clubs and switch to a trump. I mean, just from Mac's point of view. Don't be influenced. Try not to be influenced by looking at all four hands. What do you think, Peter? Bill? Come on.
Well, I wonder whether he was worried that the hearts were 3-2.
Well,
and consequently he would have the ace of diamonds as an entry. I'm just trying to work out whether the queen of clubs would gain in that layout. I'm not sure it would.
unless he can underlead to the 9 later. But I'm giving up trying to look at Jeff Nextroth's plays. I'm batting 0 from 2.
Well, Robson can certainly make it now. It's whether he will make it. If he roughs a heart now, plays a spade to the king and plays a 4th heart, roughs that, cashes ace queen of spades. Now he can cross to the diamond and play a heart pitching his diamond, or a club, I think. That's 10 tricks, isn't it?
It is.
Yep, that's 10 tricks.
Yep.
It's always easy to see sitting here in our ivory towers, watching all 4 hands.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe he's worried that North may be over roughing the heart.
He doesn't know who has 4 hearts. He doesn't know if
Well,
any.
Mexroth could have Queen Jack 9 7. You know,
Yes, indeed.
There's no reason why he can't have that.
But he doesn't know.
And maybe he's wondering about the lead, and maybe wondering whether Rodwell had underled the ace of clubs at trick 1. Thinking why would he do that, what his hand was to make him do that. That could be going through his mind.
I don't believe in the underlead. That would just be strange. No reason to.
I'm not suggesting, but he may be thinking about that, Roland. I mean, it did look an unusual play from South, from his perspective, with the ace-queen. I mean, obviously East has shown a good hand, so North may have taken the view that West probably didn't have the king of clubs, and underleading the ace at trick 1 might have been a good thing to do. I'm just trying to think about what he'd be thinking about now.
I think he may be thinking about, well, I believe South has the ace of clubs. Why did he not go up? Because he's the one with 4 hearts, maybe. Queen Jack to 4 hearts. Now you will be unable to set up the suit, mate, because my partner can over-rough. Could that be what he's thinking about?
Well, I think it's the opposite, actually, Roland. I think it's more tempting if he had 4 hearts, then certainly the hearts couldn't be set up with the king of diamonds as well, and just winning the ace of clubs and playing a spade back if he had 4 hearts. He's not worried about De Clara now having 2 hearts. I mean, it's less likely, obviously, that De Clara would have 2 hearts when he did 2 spades over 2 diamonds, but he could easily have had 2 small hearts and decent spades.
Very interesting hand. Meanwhile, England gained another 5 on board 12 when they bit to 3 hearts in the other room, went 2 down. So this was a good hand for their methods in this room. The weak jump shift, 3 to 7.
It's been a bit of a strange event for England so far. They've been generally struggling, and they played France yesterday, who were leading, and now they're playing the USA1, which would be, I think, virtually everybody's favourites for the Bermuda Bowl, and they're doing well. Obviously did very well against France yesterday and doing very well today. So either they're doing better against the better teams, or they're starting to show some form.
Yep. And another good board here. He found the line and will make it. Should be a big board. Let's see what happens in the other room. They are on board 13 now. So well done to Robson here. When he got the opportunity, he took advantage. I don't think he likes to be called Andy, by the way. Isn't that right, Peter? He prefers Andrew.
Yes, he prefers Andrew. I think some of the people who have known him for a very long time used to call him Andy when he was younger, but he certainly prefers Andrew now. You might get Tom Townsend, who will call him Robbo, which I'm not sure he'd appreciate that one either.
Surely he's not thinking here. He can count 10 tricks. Not going to finesse diamonds. That's for sure. He wasn't thinking. Operator was distracted somehow. Been a pretty good set, don't you think, guys? Bill? Peter?
Very rare that you have a dull set. That's the beauty of the game, is you get the occasional dull board, but they're in the minority.
So finally some cards in the north-south direction. And whether they're getting to 3-0 or 4 hearts, we don't know. All we know is that they'll take lots of tricks with the doubles and queen of clubs. 5, 10...
A bit like one of your slams, Roland.
Well, it is one of my slams. Isn't it cold? Don't I have 12 top tricks? 5 hearts, 5 clubs, 2 aces?
Yeah, but what you'd do, Roland, is you'd cash the ace of clubs, and when the 10 dropped, you'd cross the dummy and run the jack.
I'm not good enough for that. No, no. And it won't help me anyway, because I would have a club loser. If he's 10 of clubs is a singleton, right? Even I can figure that out, Peter.
I'm only teasing, Roland. Okay, so here, strong club. A double would be 5 to 7, I think, the way they play, and a heart is natural and forcing.
What is the 1 diamond overcall?
Well, it's alerted, so that's sort of surprising me. They usually play the suit overcalls, it's the suit or the suit above. So 1 diamond might be diamonds or hearts. Oh yes, Al's just put that up. 1 diamond is diamond or hearts.
Suppose you got to 6 no trumps, and in one of your Roland slams, and you win the lead, and say spade lead, and you play the ace of clubs, and he drops the queen on it. How would you play it then?
That is very mean to drop the queen. I should have been a poet. Did you pay attention? It was a rhyme. Very mean to lead a queen.
Very good, Roland. That's a very good point though, Bill. Could easily go down. You've sort of got some entry issues, but you cross the jack. It's basically what I think you've got too many entry issues to be able to pick the club suit up and draw trumps. Maybe you play 2 rounds of hearts and then run the club.
No, I said 6 no trumps. But
Yes.
you're right, in 6 hearts entries are a bit of a problem.
Yeah, sorry Bill, I wasn't thinking, yeah, you did say 6 no trumps, I was thinking 6 hearts.
If East is good enough to drop the queen of clubs onto my ace, then I go down. I agree, in 6 no trumps.
But this is a little bit unusual, the jack of spades from Rodwell. Guaranteeing his ruff.
Yep, private message here. Sounds like you're all having fun in the commentary box this morning. Indeed. Good company, jolly good company, I must say. Well, I think Bill and Peter are great.
Okay, so Al's telling us that Weinstein's in 4 hearts on board 14. Looks to me that that's got 4 losers. You're going to have to. You've got 2 heart losers. You've got a club loser, and I don't see where the diamonds are all going.
Well. What's going on? What's going on here, Peter? Lead away from a king by Forrester himself. Now, Robson did it a few boards ago, but Robson himself, Forrester himself, leading away from a king.
No, I don't think he did, Roland.
Didn't he? Oh, he led a trump. Mark, of course he didn't lead away from a king. And rest assured that he'll tell Robson afterwards, when he led a club away from the king. It didn't matter, as we know. So he didn't say anything at the time.
It's a complete no-no in the Forrester Book of Opening Leads to lead away from a king, as you know, Roland. But look at the board 14 next door. We've got Weinstein in 4 hearts, which looks like it's got 4 losers, and the 9 of hearts was selected as the opening lead.
Hilarious.
Yes. Yes, we said that about Forrester and Kings while you were away, Peter. And I used the polite word eventually, that he recommends that his partners don't lead away from kings. I think I started by saying that he forbids his partners to lead away from kings.
Well, if you've ever sat there with the 3 side-suit kings and the queen of trumps, you'll know that sort of sweaty feeling you get.
Right. I mean, you've partnered him on a few occasions, several occasions actually. So you must know it better than anyone.
Okay, so at the other table in 4 hearts, the 9 of hearts was led, and the 10 won in dummy, which you'd expect. North, obviously not suspecting that partner has the jack, so hoping to keep his heart trick, and actually it wouldn't matter anyway.
Yep, that lead was an epic fail. He'll be kicking himself, that's for sure, because I really think with Jack 9 Doubleton, not quite sure why the 9 could possibly be better than the Jack. I'm sure there's a reason, but there's not one that sits on top of my head. If partner had Queen 3rd or something like that, again, you'd be better off leading the Jack, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So, could have been a nice swing for England, and now it's just flat.
Well, it looks like Taylor will lose a trick in hearts, diamonds, and clubs.
Yeah. So a flat board. Last board of the match now in this room. Thanks to our excellent operator in Chennai. He did extremely well. Srini is his name. Well done to him. Thank you, Peter, Bill, for the voice. And thanks to our colleagues doing the written part of it. I remember Al, of course, Kit, and we had a few more. Timo, I believe, originally from Turkey, living in USA. Thanks to them, thanks to the organisers, thanks to BBO for providing the platform, and thanks to our listeners for coming this morning in Europe. Hope you had a fun time here, and that you will be back a little later. And a little later is in about 1 hour and 40 minutes, where we'll have voice for France versus USA1. Thank you. Over to you, Pete.
So here, Roland, one spade is spades or clubs, either the suit or the suit above. Double is 5 to 7, and Forrester's bid 2 clubs, which is the play opposite clubs. Pass or correct. So he's shown some spade support, at least 3 anyway. But this just looks like a normal 4 hearts. You've got a club to lose, and you've got a diamond to lose.
So time for breakfast, maybe dinner for Bill, and lunch for the players in India. It's 12:50 in India, 12:50 p.m. So perfect time for lunch, perfect time for breakfast for me, and dinner for Bill, I presume. What is it, Bill? 5:20 p.m. there? I think it is.
Yep. Thanks, Roland and Peter, and we'll see you, well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, I know you'll be back tomorrow. It has been a pleasure, as always.
Yeah, thanks very much, both of you. I'm sorry I missed the middle stage, but I'm pleased to see that England have got another sensible, good result from this match, keeping them in the qualifying positions.
All right. Thank you, and goodbye for now. See you in 1 hour and about 35 minutes. Bye for now.